Sonic came out. What was it, last month? Last month now?
There
And there was
we
going to be a lot of
go.
question and controversy with it based on the original design of Sonic. And then they originally supposed to come out in November, and then they changed it to make him look much more like Sonic to come out for a February.
Yeah, no, really.
Is this the greatest video game movie of all time?
Ooh.
Barney, I'm going to start with you this time because I know you to be a big SANIC fan. So
SANIC.
talk to me.
Damn. I mean, I feel like
Haven't seen a Game Boy in a while.
My instant response to that, it feels like it's a no, but then I try and think of a better video game movie. You know what I mean?
Isn't that the question?
And I think that's
Super Mario Brothers.
You know me. I
don't mean that. I don't mean that.
I'm going to stick with how I felt coming out of that movie. I was, like I said, it was 150% of what I was expecting. So that made me happy. I really enjoyed it. I laughed a lot. It was wicked cute. There was enough in there. Are we in spoiler territory here?
We're in spoiler territory for everything.
Major spoiler territory.
Everything is spoilers.
Why are you watching it?
But there was.
What are you gonna get out of this?
Jack, you'd already seen it, Jack?
Yeah, I saw it with Merrick. I saw you were.
We
no,
were
weren't you
all
there?
together.
Had you already seen it before that? I meant.
No.
Because
we all went at the same time.
Because you knew about the post-credit scene, right?
Yeah, I got it spoiled from something else. I watched.
Well, your friends.
So Jack had it spoiled, and he mentioned the post-credit scene.
But I did not spoil it for him.
But he was hard poker face, and I said, if they introduce Tails and they're going to do a Sonic 2, I'm going to be so happy.
I said the exact same
I
thing.
almost broke because he guessed it right off the bat, and I was like. What did I even say? I don't even know how I got out of that hole because I was like, "Oh shit!" Excuse me. Crud!
You know what you did? You just poker faced it because I didn't.
Oh yeah, because I was just like, "Hey man, I don't want to spoil anything." So
I didn't get any indication either way, and part of me was still thinking maybe it's Knuckles, but now I'm thinking I hope they make 3.
No,
and
that was early in the
bring
movie.
Knuckles in.
No,
that wasn't Knuckles. That wasn't.
Those were echidnas.
That wasn't Knuckles.
One of them could have been Knuckles.
It could have been.
One of them
very
could
possible.
have been.
Look, they already made the gloves a canon thing, so now
yeah.
Knuckles can have his spiky gloves. So that'll be fun.
I'm looking forward to. I really hope they make a second one with Tails.
They have to.
So it has to be called Sonic and Tails.
To go back to what you were saying
does.
before, Jack, like about just switching off and enjoying a movie. You can't get much better than this.
If you can't during this movie, you're
you're dead inside.
It was fun.
Oh, the
and it was
moment with
enjoyable.
the shoes that got me. I was so cute and and just such a great little detail. I nudged Alex. I was like,
I had forgotten
those are his
up to that
original
point.
shoes.
I had forgotten up to that point that he didn't have his iconic shoes.
I forgot to.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh
and
my
then
God, he doesn't have
she
the
took him
shoes.
out, and I was like,
The shoe.
Those are his shoes.
Jim Carrey's return to Jim Carrey form.
Jim
oh my
Carrey
gosh.
killed it.
Everything that you could have asked for from him, he just delivered so hard.
Incredible.
I
was
loved not
amazing.
knowing about him being in the movie until
You
the
didn't
trailer
know?
dropped. Until the trailer
Oh,
dropped.
Oh, okay,
No one
yeah.
knew until the
No
trailer
one
dropped.
knew, or
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
sure if it was
Didn't
just
know.
me. But it was so surprising because I was curious who Dr. Meg was going to be, but I didn't really know. I didn't know if it was going to be like an A-list actor or just someone building up. Like whoever they pick is fine. I did not expect Jim Carrey to be the one under those glasses, and it took me a minute to see, and that was when I was immediately sold on. I have to see this movie to see Jim Carrey be Jim Carrey again.
I think I approached
Regardless
this.
of bad design or whatever, I still was going to see it.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to go into this movie just for Jim Carrey, boy, are you going to be satisfied.
Oh, yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I think they
No
just
kidding.
gave away a little too much of his jokes in the trailers, personally. Because
the latte joke was the best one, and they just totally gave it away.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
really gave a lot of his dialogue, but they were trying to sell the movie, so I can't judge that much.
Yeah.
So I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to make sure that this movie's successful after
We
a
owed it to
major
him. We really
catastrophe.
did. We like.
Oh yeah, so I
bullied
treated this movie the same way I treat voting, which you should all vote. Voting is your American right, and even if you don't like the candidates, you can still just take the time to do it. Okay, you don't
Thanks,
have to
politician.
Vote. Anyway, so that's anyway. The reason I say that is because that's how I felt about Sonic. I felt an obligation because
Right.
if you feel upset by what if the original design hurt you. Personally,
If you were personally
It's-
victimized,
then you
Call
owe
this
it
number.
to the creators to go see that
Exactly.
movie because the
That's-
vitriol should have turned into a massive box office smash. But I think they've done pretty well.
I agree.
Like budget wise, I don't know the numbers. I'm not going to take the time to research it.
Well, it was number one for a couple weeks before I'm Invisible Man, so it's been successful enough. I don't know if it's successful enough to warrant a sequel. I don't know what
I really hope so.
what the standards were
Yeah.
for getting a sequel, but I think people
it'll get it.
enjoy it enough and they left themselves open, obviously. With
I would
Tales.
see a sequel in the theaters. I will say that, like,
Yeah,
because
I
I
definitely
like
would
the
too.
design enough now that I can buy into what they've set up. That I'm like, you know what? Okay, I can get behind this. But I feel that the whole the thing that made it happen, which is both good and bad, the whole outrage and all that. I think fans having such a personal like listen, I got this stuff branded on me, but like I think fans having a personal attachment to their franchises
What's playing in the background, Barny?
and holding creators personally responsible for the creations and how they try and choose to create them. Like, I get it. Listen, I remember all the bad adaptations. I remember Super Mario Brothers.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Well, I mean,
movies-
even look at the X-Men outfits from the first movie.
I
Those
still
weren't comic
like
books.
Super Mario Brothers. I still love Mario, despite that
Right.
awful movie. So, like, if it had come out in the way it was originally intended, I mean, I wouldn't have seen it, and it would have tanked, and then we would have forgotten about it.
Yeah.
But instead, it got to be something cool. At the same time, it's exhausting, and I'm going to bring this just to touch back on Star Wars a little bit.
course.
It's exhausting when fans are like, you have personally victimized me by making a bad movie.
Right.
And, like, that is
Well,
how people come
get over
across
As soon as they get
sometimes.
behind a keyboard, they think they have the entire world at their disposal of things that they can say to try to get.
I mean, I've had these arguments in person, and like you don't need a keyboard to have that kind
No.
of silly
Yeah.
opinion. And it's
But
just
a lot
like
of people feel like they do, and that's how the change gets made.
fandom is and pop culture is a big part of the world nowadays, and it's important to remember that it's still something that should belong in our imagination, and you should focus on what you like, and not let the things that you don't like
Yes.
bother you so much.
I know, and I agree with that logic. I just find it a little interesting that the creatives for Sonic, the people in charge of this project, they
Made that
wanted their
choice.
Sonic to look incredibly different. When the designers and Sonic team themselves, makers of the games, they all were kind of shocked and aghast when they said, or when they found out that this is what Sonic was going to look like.
Well,
So only like 3 or 4 people were really set on a different Sonic, and everyone's like, this is not going to go well at all. That I find interesting.
Not to beat a dead horse, but I mean, we've all seen what happens when like creators of a movie version of a property get it too far up their own butts in terms of how they choose to adapt it.
Because they choose to be artistic rather
The husband
than...
and
Right.
wife team who adapted the Super Mario Brothers did not care about
Like-
the movies whatsoever or the games whatsoever.
Like, definitely
Clearly.
be
Yeah.
creative, throw
And then
your
they
little
realized they
spins
were
and
trapped.
things, but you gotta give the people what they want to a degree.
Sonic had the kind of fan service that a gamer who played and grew up playing Sonic could appreciate. The
right.
end when Robotnik is literally in a thing,
Yes.
he's in a ship that he's
Yes.
fighting
Right.
Sonic in, and Sonic literally
So
bounces on him all over.
good.
That's how you beat him. That's great.
That was
So
so,
good.
satisfying to
The
watch.
reason why, and of course, I'm going to continue to be the dead horse here because the Marvel movies are the greatest film franchise of all time. So the
we
Marvel,
have crutches
You like
on this
those
show.
movies?
Who knew, Barney? The Marvel movies have
Keeping
taken the
secrets.
characters and basically taken from page to screen, but they've also modified and adapted to fit really whatever story, whatever time these characters
Look at Captain
are at.
Marvel.
Look at Captain Marvel. Look at what they've been able to do with Iron Man. Certainly Thor.
Skrulls are now a
and
sympathetic
Hulk.
race.
Yeah. And it works because it still feels like the same characters. They still look like the same characters from
Right.
the page. The problem with a lot of these video game movies, like especially Super Mario Brothers, I would argue maybe Assassin's Creed in some places do. Certainly Prince of Persia. They don't look or feel like the games that we've played.
Right.
That one. Yeah. I gotta see that.
And I mean, Detective Pikachu is really the first one in
Yeah.
a long time.
That really,
But even then, it's not actually Pikachu. It's based off Detective Pikachu, so it's not even the actual real Pokemon brand with Ash. So even then,
but
it's
even
kind of reaching.
still, it
but they
pulled
did
off.
so good.
Yeah,
And they did.
Listen, you take that animation and the way they interpreted Pokemon in that movie, and then you look at the way. Have you guys seen the Netflix Pokemon remake of the first
Oh my
movie?
God.
I just did.
It's terrible.
It's so
It's
bad.
thank you. Listen, you started
on our next
Okay,
episode,
no, so
which
I
we will
like-
be talking
because
about.
it's relevant to the whole Sonic redesign thing.
I loved the fact that you could see the texture of the Pokemon.
Yeah, the Pokemon look fine.
That was awesome.
They're great. The people are freak shows. They're absolutely horrifying. Because listen, they are perfect 3D recreations
They
of the
are.
animated versions, but that doesn't translate to
So,
3D.
do y'all want to come back next week and talk just about Pokemon
Yes.
Pikachu
Yeah.
Strike
I
Back
Please.
so
Evolution?
hold on. Does that mean I have to sit through it?
Oh God.
Because
Yeah.
my eyes were burning, and like I'll sit through a
It's
lot.
like, are we gonna watch it all together
We can.
and just react to it the whole
I'll
time?
live stream that.
There you
yeah,
go.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That's what we'll
Yeah.
do.
that was it's
next week on Nights at the Dirty Table,
yeah,
folks.
yeah, because that freaked
Actually,
me
I
out.
don't- I don't
That
put-
person,
I don't
you want to
know.
talk about fans being personally victimized?
Like,
I
it
mean,
was-
we'll talk about it.
It was
Barney.
the perfect
We won't get in legal trouble.
re-render in 3D.
but that's the problem. It doesn't work.
And like, I love that movie so much.
Me too.
Like,
yeah, cried
so-
in
like,
theater.
that is our
Yeah.
childhood right
oh
there.
God, when they're just slapping each other.
So
It's
before
not.
we go,
You don't get the same.
Merrick's like, save it for next week.
So before we
It's not
go,
the
I do
same.
have one question in regards to kind of the Detective Pikachu and Sonic comparison, because those are kind of our two,
Yeah.
Right.
I think, best results video
From
game
video game
adaptations.
movies,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Are we over the human and creature trope, where a human will work with
You
said
scamp. You
creature
scamp.
and they just kind of take on the story together? Would you prefer to see something different, like when the Mario, or I think there's a Mario
would
movie that's
love
coming
to
out?
see-
Would
I-
you like to just see a Mario movie where
I
it's
would.
just Mario fighting to
Yeah.
save
I
the
would.
day?
But hold on, you
Without
have to think
humans?
about how Mario talks. It's going to be like the Minions movie where they're like, ba, ba, ba. It's going to be, ha ha, oh, doggy, it's a go. And it's going to be a whole,
Yeah.
and Luigi's like, Mario. And that's all they'll say.
What's the problem with that?
I'm just saying,
I'm
it's going to be
missing the-
very, that's why I sat and watched the Minions movie, because I'm
Right.
like, how are you going to pull this off?
Right.
Where's the dialogue
Right.
So
coming
you're
from?
excited for Minions 2 then?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
No, no, but like, so there's a way to recreate an interpretation, and there's a way to not do it. And like, the reason that I think creators try to reinterpret designs is because they recognize that Sonic doesn't fit in real life. But you look at Roger Rabbit, that didn't matter.
But
You had
does
Mickey
Sonic
Mouse
need to be
and
put in real life then is the point.
no, but that's the thing.
Right.
Like, yes,
and
I
I know
agree.
they did that for budget purposes, so that way they could.
Sonic with humans is not out of the question. And like, do you then go anime humans and like then you have the Pokemon
Well, because I mean,
first movie
if you
probably?
think about it, he's already been in a city. He's been with humans in Sonic X.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like, it's not
With long, tall, regular people.
Right,
right.
Same with
It-
Mario.
it
if
works
you look
with
at
Odyssey.
Mario
So,
has
like,
Yeah,
you do
which
that
is
for-
weird. That
Yeah.
does not work.
Do
I
you
don't
do
like that.
For a Kirby movie, do you do that for a Yoshi movie? Do you do that for every?
But do
single
those
video game movie
characters
to make it
hold a
work?
franchise? You know, I don't know if I want for like a whole freaking
Okay,
movie, man.
but if you Kirby has had his own show.
Because he has friends around him who
Right.
can actually talk, and he
Right.
is a god form. If you watched
Yeah,
Polygon,
Because they're not using
Amazing.
humans. They're still using these characters around them. Do you want an animated video game movie?
I
or
think
do
the
you
reason
want
those-
your animated character dealing with James Marsden?
I think they have to have a normal person because that's why
Yeah.
characters why Luke Skywalker exists. You need an everyman who is not used to this, who you can explain the plot to. That's why
Right.
you have James Marsden. He is there for nothing else
But
than to be a vehicle for the plot. And that's fine. That is a classic storytelling technique.
Yeah.
You have to have someone who doesn't know what's going on, so otherwise you're just talking to the camera, which we'll
Well,
talk about in
Sonic-
just a second. But yeah,
But Sonic, but they have, all of these things. Sorry to interrupt too, but
No.
I have to point
It's
out
your
that
show too.
I just defeated this boss, which I was struggling to defeat before, so now I can move
oh
on with
nice.
this game.
You're on a level
I'm playing Sonic Forces,
stage
by the
6.
way.
You're going to stage 6.
I'm on stage 6.
Oh, I heard bad things about stage 6.
But no, all of these games have a cast of backup characters that that could replace. There's all kinds of Sonic characters. I mean, in this game, the cutscenes are hilariously bad, but there's all kinds of characters there to be used.
It's not like
I would
Cats.
love to see if they continue with this whole no. Oh my god. If
No, there's
they
a bad
continue with this
reinterpretation.
whole Sonic thing, I would love to see all of the other characters like
Yes.
whatever.
Rose,
Rouge,
Cream, and
Rouge.
the
Rouge.
pink one and Knuckles and
Amy.
all them.
Knuckles,
Amy,
Chaos.
that's
Amy-
her.
Amy
I want
Rose.
Shadow.
I want the
I would
Chaos
love.
Emeralds and I want
I would
Supersonic.
love to see
Silver?
What are they? They're the Chaos team. It was the purple,
Chaos-
the purple. No, the purple guy and the alligator
Yeah.
and the bee.
And the
Yeah.
bee.
I would
yeah.
love to
Yeah,
see
the
them.
whole team.
Big.
whole
Was it
squad.
big?
Yeah.
Was
it
and like
big?
the robot.
Yeah,
Oh,
like a bee.
I would love to see
Those
all
characters
of
are
them.
great. I mean, just to start with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, you got 3 awesome characters that could hold a story.
So we want a sequel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally.
We want a
I
sequel.
think they earned a sequel.
Yeah. No.
No,
I agree.
right.
I
We
mean,
think
like
they earned a sequel.
I want to know what happened to Robotnik because now that he looks like
I
Eggman,
love that.
oh my god,
I
his
loved
design
the
was
way that they did
perfect.
that.
Yeah,
So
I was really a
good.
little confused and a little skeptical at first when I saw what he was going to look like. I was like, why is he hot?
yeah. Why am I turned down by Robotnik? This is not
I
cool.
was like, I'm a little uncomfortable right now. And then like towards the end when that happened, I was like,
Because he's going to be.
Beautiful.
You think Jim
Was it the
Carrey was
mustache,
crazy
Amber?
in this
Oh,
one?
yeah,
He's
totally.
going to be nuts by the time he actually makes
yeah.
his way back to
like
Sonic.
he's already a little like he was already like teetering off already, but like
But now he's
gonna
gonna be that super
He's
villain.
gonna be
So
Eggman.
Yeah.
you have taken our money as of right now. If you're listening to this, Sonic team, we want our sequel.
Yeah, go
so-
for
Yeah, we
it.
do.
Sonic and Tails, 2023. That's
Please.
what
All
it
right,
is.
now.